Now, to that simple study, it might have just been done by one person. It might have been their pet project that they did for a long period of time, because frankly, if you only do that for a couple months, it's not that good. The longer you do that study, the more helpful it is. So in this case, it might have been one person who documented that every day for 2 years and said, okay, I see a conclusion here. Or they had everybody's help and everybody documented it for, let's say, 2 to 5 years.
So our friends at Open Snow, who follows Open Snow?
Yeah, we like those.
Yes, we like those guys. And speaking of studies, they have data and maps that is a lot of historical data, because they have the time. And they're all meteorologists and all probably PhDs in snow studies and so forth. So they always put this stuff out for the summer and then again for the winter, okay, based on whatever ENSO pattern it is. What does history say about what we're looking at for either the snow season or the monsoon season? So based on historical data, the summers of 2012, 13, 14, 18, and 21 were very similar to the weather patterns that we're gonna have this summer. And so there's a probability that we're gonna be in the green, which is good. That means above average, as opposed to out in the Midwest, which will be
Here,
low average.
let
Yes.
me make a point here too. See, I always look to look for trends, to see a bigger picture. And what this says to me is that the ridges, it might be questionable this summer, because see, they have the better chance for higher precip to our west. So the ridge might set up a little bit further west than we want.
So what is my forecast for the monsoon here in Pagosa Springs? After looking at all that data, I am saying that we're gonna have average to above average on moisture in the month of July. We should have an early onset of the monsoon, like the last week in June. August should be average to above average, and then September will be average. And that's kind of based on what that Pacific hurricane forecast will be. So I'll update all of this on the 1st of June. And then of course we have to talk about lightning safety, because we are the Weather Ready Nation ambassadors for the Archuleta County. And I know several of you are always out hiking in the monsoon season. I have a friend that used to brief lightning safety. The best place to be is inside. Just don't go outside.
Tell the tourists that.
Yeah, yes, we'll tell them. Yeah, we're outside. Or we've come close quite a few times. So this is showing the total lightning strikes throughout the nation, with Florida and up into the southern plains there being the most active for lightning strikes. But if we zoom in on the state of Colorado, you can see, well, that's actually a pink color, but it's appearing white here. That's a higher incidences of lightning. It correlates very well to exactly where our San Juan Mountains are. And Sean always has a point about this map.
Oh yeah, I think this is pretty amazing, because and I don't know for sure, it will take another study, but I would say about 7, this is annual numbers. Will you go back one so they can actually see what red and purple mean? So red is 16 to 32 and the purple is 32 to 64. That's total lightning density per layer. So go back to ours, please. I think that about 75% of this happens only during the monsoon. So July, August, and September, which to me is pretty amazing that, you know, you looked at the national chart, and for like Florida, that's all year long, of course. But ours is just a 3-month peak that we get most of those lightning strikes.
The first June we were in our house, which would have been 2000. We were going to bed about 9 o'clock, and I looked to the west, and I remember telling Susan, we need to watch